Maybe if I did that, then I could have some spare time. And then my spare time, I might have some money to, and then maybe I could work my, if I had enough money and that's compromised land. Compromised land is just a suburb of the real world. You think you're living in fantasy land, but you think you're living in a realistic fantasy land, but it's not. It's the real world. Well, I think I could make a living doing that. That's where you're trying to live, JD Grateful. You're trying to live in compromised land. I have so many passions that I don't, which one? You're still trying to live in the real world. That's why you can't figure out what you want. So I recommend watching my videos on that and or getting the, go to courses.thunderwizard.com. All these links are here for a reason. I leave them there just, neon flashing at you for a reason. Go check them out. All right, so that's how do I know what to focus on? You're going to have to do some work. So I recommend either getting the lockdown package and doing that, or watching my videos on it, get my book, The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life, or find the videos, do the work to find the videos where I teach you how to do it. Okay? All right. By the way, thunderwizard.com, there is the Shamanic Mastery course, which you can get for $25 a month. If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe after the first month. What does it cost you? Seriously, $25? Then there is the Manifestation Mastery course, which gives you access to all of the shamanism videos and all of the videos on how to become a master manifester, how to manifest your dreams. When you have learned how to manifest, when you've learned how to, to master the matrix, all that stuff I've got, all those videos I got about mastering the matrix. When you've mastered that, here's how it works. This is all I have to do. And I'm not kidding. This is the truth. All I have to do is go through the same process everybody else does. And I ask myself, what is it that I really want? What is my joy? Because I'm constantly refining my soul desire. Sometimes I go, nope, I got everything. And you got to be honest. Do you have everything? A lot of the time I can say, yep, I got absolutely, I can't think of anything else I want. Like I can't think of any place else in the world that I'd rather live. I know for a fact there are places I don't want to live. But I literally can't think of another place. It's like if somebody said, if you could pick let me ask you guys, if you could just snap your fingers and live anywhere in the world, where would you live? How many of you are going to say right where you are? Most of you aren't. I can honestly say I'm living right where I want to live. Everything. I wouldn't change anything. I mean, the changes I could make would be so minor that they're just not even worth it. So when you get to the place where you master manifestation, all you do is you pinpoint and you bring to your consciousness what it is you truly want, and then it happens. My fiance who passed, she said to me one day, she said, "You're not human." I said, "What the hell are you talking about? Of course I'm human." She said, "No, you're not human." She said, we were out having lunch. She said, 2 weeks ago we were sitting here having lunch at this restaurant, and you were complaining about all the things that were wrong, and you sat there and you complained about it, and then you said, okay, wait, I have to figure out what I want, and then you took a couple of seconds and you thought about it, and you said, what I want is, and then you spelled out all the things that you wanted in your life, which you didn't have, that were impossible to get, and then you said, okay, and then you dropped it, and then we went on, and now 2 weeks later, you have exactly what you said you wanted. And she said, that doesn't happen for normal people. And I thought about it, and it was, she's one of the reasons I'm able to teach it, because I realized, oh, she's right. It had become second nature to me that when I'm uncomfortable, I just figure out what I want. And if I can feel, and then I know that that's really what I want. Okay, I figured it out. Okay. Once I figure it out, I know that I just intuitively know that everything's going to work out the way I want it to. I didn't realize that. I hadn't intellectualized it. She helped me to intellectualize it, which is why I'm able to teach you guys. When you get to that point where you've mastered manifestation, that's how it works. Now, there are still times that I have to then take action on things. And sometimes those things are frightening and scary and all of that, but so what? My experience has shown me that as long as I know what I want, if I go after it, I always have it. And if I'm true to myself, I mean, I swear to God, if I'm true to myself, I swear to you, time starts going backwards. You know, I'm physically stronger than I've ever been in my whole life. I've never felt this healthy in my whole life. I have to say it, but I look at women my age most of the time, and they look like my grandmother. I look at men my age lots of times, same kind of thing. It's like, what the hell happened to you? I think the real thing is knowing what it is that you want and going after it. I think it's that simple. When you do that, your soul aligns to the infinite energy of this space-time bubble, and you get all the energy your body needs. The last time I got tested for, blood test, which was again probably 5 or 6 years ago, and I was not even as far on the path as I am now. It came back like unbelievable. Like you've got the numbers of a 25-year-old. I think that's the answer. The answer is to know your joy and to follow it. Relieves all of the stress. I think that's what disease is. Disease is you are in conflict with your soul. And that conflict creates self-hatred and shame, which gets lodged in your body and creates different diseases. I have yet to be proven wrong, knock on wood. We'll see what happens. But so far, that's what's working for me. Jason Guerrero, question. What should I do celestial Qigong in the same direction as my mantra ritual? No, don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. You can do Qigong in whatever direction you want. Don't worry about it. Just do it in whatever direction you want. Don't overthink that. Let's see. Dean Nevins. Wanderer says, Thunder Wizard needs an FAQ answered section. Dean Nevins, question. Is there a difference in energy between doing a ritual on a new moon versus a full moon? Yes. I hadn't thought it through exactly what that is, but I would have to say there definitely is a difference. But I've done both. I think they're both really powerful times. And it's usually, if we're talking about a full moon, it's the day before. It's not the day of the full moon, it's the day before the full moon. That's when the moon is super strong because it's just getting to the top. But once it gets to the top, it starts losing steam. Same thing with the new moon. You're going for complete emptiness the day before. Once you hit the new moon, it's the day of the new moon. It's starting to go back up in the sky again. So do it the day before, and you'll get the most out of it. If you really want to transform yourself and go to emptiness and get rid of stuff, start it on a new moon. If you want to, get the most out of something that's already really powerful, I would do the full moon. Though I'm not saying that this is the way it has to be done. They'll both work because they're both powerful times. But if it were me and I were thinking about it, I would say, okay, I want to release some negative energy. I'm going to do that on a new moon. I want to get even stronger and become Mr. Olympia. I'm going to do a thing on the full moon. Got me? Okay, JD, grateful question. Thanks for the reply. You are right. I want to buy the lockdown. May I message you? I don't understand. If you get the lockdown package, what's going to happen is that you will get access to me directly. So you'll be able to message me. People who subscribe on the Thunder Wizard channel also can message me. I try to not have just your average YouTube person have access to me, because if they did, and there are people still doing it, my inbox would be filled. So, people want to message me. That's kind of, you kind of have to buy your ticket to get on the ride. Sorry about that. So if you have a question about it, you can ask me any question about products or services here on the channel. Or on the YouTube comments section. I'll answer any questions about any product or service there, or in the live Q&A. So if you have a question you need to ask me about, ask me now. I'll be happy to answer it. If it's that you want to have a significant one-on-one interaction, then once you have purchased that, I'm happy to answer any questions you have and That's what you're paying me for, to help you. All right. So sorry about that. Let's see. Sebastian Jaime Mena question. I am moving to the beach like you to kite surf. That gives me joy. How I relax and trust about how. Let me just ask you guys, write full questions, even if you need to, put a second thing in. Writing a full question with a verb and an object and all that. It's one way of showing me respect. It's kind of disrespectful for me to try and figure out you're not writing a full question. But it also gives you respect. You're asking me a question because there's something you really want to know. So give yourself the full honor. If you need to write two, because you only have so many characters you can do, write out two things. Write out a full question. So you're asking me, how do I relax and trust about money coming? You just answered the question. You just do it. What you're really wanting to ask me is, how do I get over the discomfort? And it's just a feeling. Bear in mind, if you follow the path that I'm teaching, what's going to happen is when you go after what you truly want, you will, depending on your karma and your childhood issues, your resistance will come up, which will include feeling uncomfortable, feeling frightened, feeling unworthy, wanting to blow your brains out, wanting to quit. They're just feelings. Again, my ancestors said, those who die in battle go to Valhalla. Imagine a guy about to go to war, like walk out on the battlefield, and imagine him saying, hey, I'm going to wait until I'm not so scared, because that guy, there's a big guy over there and he's got he looks really mean. There's all kinds of blood on his face. He's probably killed a bunch of people. And he scares me, and so I don't want to go into battle. I mean, your commander will kill you right on the spot. That's why the Romans only had armor in the front, because if you turn and ran away, the guy next to you will stab you in the back because you might get him killed. So you're gonna be afraid. You're gonna have insecurity and fear and nervousness. Just accept that. In fact, when the uncomfortable feelings come up, go, I must be doing something right. I've just bumped into some necessary resistance. It has to happen. So to answer your question, how do you do it? Just do it. And who cares if you're afraid or not? I mean, there are things that I do all the time that I'm afraid. I'm deathly afraid of doing it. And I do it anyway. I've just learned the only thing that matters is taking the action. How I feel about it is totally irrelevant. All right. See what else. Yeet Ma Yeet, welcome to the channel. Again, ask me questions about what I'm teaching. Do you see anything on here about the Anunnaki?
All right, so who you just heard there was the Thunder Wizard. In my last video, I talked about I wanted more gurus coming out and saying that, enough with the fucking bullshit, enough with the victim mentality, enough with blaming fucking Illuminatis and reptilians and all these different fucking Anunnaki and giants and Nephilim and aliens and reptilians and all this shit and the queens and the governments and all that. Enough's enough. Fix your fucking life and stop fucking... No, I don't want to use projecting because that's one of his words, but stop blaming your shitty life on outside circumstances that you can't control. This way it gives you an excuse not to do anything. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that being the fucking norm, and I'm tired of seeing people that I believe and I can kind of feel that are supposed to be going through an awakening process, yet they're getting stuck in the fear-based media because it's more entertaining to watch reality TV than it is to watch regular TV anymore. And they don't want to be part of the crowd that watches regular TV, so they're watching independent media, and it's just bullshit poisoning their mind, probably from the real media. And they probably, some of them might have it under as education or non-profit, but you'll see straight out a lot of them just say entertainment as what their tag, what their content is generalized as. So anyways, at the beginning of Thunder Wizard's video, I was watching it last night, I saw that he was kind of hitting on that point. I was like, holy fuck, nice. And then as he went on, I kept getting this like sneaky intuition feeling like, God, he's such a bullshitter. I get that off and on with him all the time when he talks. So there's certain things I think he knows a lot about, and there's other things I think he just pulls out his ass. And speaking like someone who not necessarily pulls out of my ass, but I put things together as I talk. I don't know if someone who's like me gets that feeling from me from time to time, but I do my best to say, you know, I've never done this before, but you know, it just came to me, so it must mean something. But anyways, nonetheless, I kept getting the sneaking, the feeling that, you know, he might be dissing me, and there's many things he said in there that, you know, kind of are very much in line with my videos, from him getting his blood work and being good to a bunch of different little things. Like, there's a difference between the unconscious and the subconscious. It doesn't matter. Does he watch my stuff? Probably not. Does he? Has he saw my comments and hold a grudge? Maybe, because I went to comment and I wasn't able to comment, and then I was only able to see 2 comments from other people that I believe were also blocked, and I wasn't able to see the live chat. So what happens when you're blocked is you can still see their content, but you can't speak on their video. So I'm pretty sure he blocked me. And, you know, the last message I gave him was a good message. So it is what it is. But what I just showed you, that clip there, is him talking about, and I mean, the way his eyes keep going up to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. One of those is a tell of someone's lying, okay? And it's not always to the left, which the majority of the people are to the left. This comes into play with what's your dominant side, what's your dominant hand. So, you know, but, you know, and if you watch it and you keep watching them, you can kind of see. But anyways, point is, he started talking about his wife, saying you're not his wife or his fiance that passed away. And I mean, no disrespect there, you know, that's not an easy thing to go through, and my condolences. And I'm not trying to make fun of a man and kick him whenever he lost someone he loved. I mean, that's not right, that's not cool. That's the opposite of what I'm trying to do here. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, in his whole little spiel about he can just bring something to his consciousness and then forget it, and then it manifests, is half bullshit and half right. Because the whole forgetting part's right. When the thing comes in your mind, and you do it properly, like I did with the whole bingo tickets, I've proven that I can win on those, and I can't get big because I've never won bigger than, you know, $500 on a ticket, but that's still quite the thing, quite the win. And especially whenever it's a win you planned on getting, and you wrote a sigil for, well, then it's no bueno. And oh yeah, another thing, his drug talks, his coffee talks, and his cigarette, making fun of people that smoke in one of their videos, and that totally told me there was something going on. But anyways, but, you know, telling people that all they have to do is consciously think about what they want to manifest and then it'll happen is not accurate. Now, he kind of said a few times later on, initially he didn't say it, like, wow, like, this is stupid. He's just giving people the wrong information. Same guy who would say law of attraction is bullshit, which it was bullshit the way they packaged it for most people, unless some people were born with special gifts of, you know, whatever part of the law of attraction that they learned. You know, they had all the other parts going for them. All the other 7 or 6 hermetic principles were working well for them, and they were missing the one. So when they got the law of attraction, they got that missing piece. Well, then the shit took off for them. But so yeah, he ended up changing and saying that, you know, that's the way it is, works for him nowadays. You can just think of something and it pops up. And I spoke about this as well, and I said, you know, I got nowhere near the experience that Birch has, but the one time Birch brought it up, saying it's a way of life. You get to a point where you could be on a bus, you could be in a lineup, you could be in a crowd, you could be at a restaurant, you could be high or drunk, and you can still manifest what you want. It's just, it's a lifestyle, it's a choice. And Frederick Xavier puts it in the sense of, and it's from the book, the curriculum that I do, the curriculum being Kabbalah and the Great Work of Self-Transformation. It's reject, banish, deny, and then accept the thoughts you do want, because everything starts with a thought. Now, he is big on action, taking action, doing action, but here's the part, here's the secret for the secret, here's the secret for manifestation. From what he was talking about, I'm going to take that and turn it into a real occult teaching, and not just some bullshit like, I can just, you know, pat himself on the back. Because, and I got nothing against the guy, he probably can teach you how to manifest, but I get a big urge that, you know, he's got a few manifestations, and it's mostly because people think he manifests and he's successful, therefore he's being successful. He's that guy I talked about a long time ago, an armchair occult person can manifest after a certain amount of time when they cross that line and start pretending they're manifesting, and enough minds believe they are, they can. You know, this guy says in his video that if you're working a job that you don't like and you're trying to find your passion, whatever, blah, 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 then, you know, that's the fake life. And, you know, I'm paraphrasing, and that's not exactly what he said, but, you know, he went from saying, if you're working a job that you don't like for money, that's wrong. And then he says surfing is the thing he loves to do, so he works the bare minimum that he has to do to pay for just that, and it's not cheap. So it's like, well, the same thing you told people not to do is the same thing you're fucking doing, you know. So there's those kind of things all the time when you watch him, and he's human, so that's going to happen. So there's no disrespect there. I'm sure I do that too. We're in a paradox. The occult world, whether it's shamanism to ceremonial magic to any kind of witchcraft or, you know, Luciferian, fucking doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, there's going to be paradoxes that, you know, you're going to have trouble with. It's going to be like, well, I have to think about what I want as if it's already happened during my ritual. And then while I'm waiting for it to happen, I can't think about it for it to manifest. And it's, yeah, that's the paradox. And the catch is it happens faster when you do that. And I've said this many times, the best way to reprogram yourself, the best way to have the faith that Thunder Wizard's talking about, that I've talked about, that works for Vader Xavier, that works for Birch. When Birch says you can just think about something and it manifests, this mind magic that you do when you reject the things you don't want, and then they don't happen. And when you accept the things you do want, and then they do happen. The reason this works, you don't have to buy, go buy the Thunder Wizard stuff. He can teach you, and you might need somebody. You might be the person that needs to learn from somebody. You might not be able to do what I did, but I'm telling you right now, I actually quit coffee recently, which is kind of funny that he mentioned that. I don't know if I said that in the videos that I was cutting back on the coffee or not, but it's been quite a while without coffee though. But nonetheless, I am on Suboxone, which is an opiate, and you know, I smoke cigarettes. So like I said, he was making fun of me, and I made an episode, can you manifest when you're on opiates, when you're on Suboxone and shit like that? You most certainly can, because here's the thing. And he wasn't saying you can't manifest, because he was specifically saying you can't do outer body experiences, you can't astral travel when you're hot on stuff like that, because it holds you in this realm. And you know what? I think there might be a little bit of truth to that, because his version of sleep paralysis is half accurate, half inaccurate, and I mean, they vary for people, right? So for me, I'm awake, and I was seeing these whatever demonic things, but that's when I had a fear of spirits, and I overcome that fear, and I never saw those spirits again. It was something I need to overcome, because I still get sleep paralysis quite frequently. And why is that? Well, it's probably because my body is ready to be able to do these things, because I've done the spiritual work to be at that level. I'm not an armchair occultism. I do the work, but my body is grounded here because of these substances. I don't know. But when he said that today, that's what came in my head. Like, boom, there's your answer why you keep having sleep paralysis every night. You're like, holy fuck. And this is what I mean. The Thunder Wizard, for as much as I want to make fun of him, as much as I want to break him down, as much as I want to be like, oh, I'll change his fucking thing into some real occult knowledge, like I just said, like a cocky prick, right? He taught me something, and he always teaches me something, so that's why I click him on every once in a while. And you know, all these people are asking him questions, and he knows they're just wandering by his page and, you know, casually just asking questions to hear something that they want to hear about. So, but he's straight, and it's one thing I kind of like about him, in the same sense, to gain more subscribers and people paying for your products. You know, they're testing the waters. Like, okay, well, if I ask this guy a question, is he going to answer my question instead of me having to go watch 200 videos? And in his opinion, it's like, well, if you're not willing to watch 200 videos, then I don't want you as a student anyways, so don't waste my fucking time, because, yeah, you got to be willing to go through 200 videos. I mean, he's probably got 1,000 videos on this thing. I've got 300, I think, on my YouTube, to be honest. And I've only been doing this for almost 4 years now, so, you know, it is what it is. But anyways, so But yeah, the sleep paralysis that I have is I'm awake and I just can't move. My body is awake, yet I'm still paralyzed. And that's because I've done work to wake up in my dreams. So maybe he is right. Once again, maybe I'm doing the outer body, or sorry, I'm doing the lucid dream thing. Because I can gain my consciousness in dreams. I've done it many times. I can't keep it for long, but I don't dream every day of the week. I dream about 4 times a week, and of those 4 times, it's give and take, but 2 times, sometimes 3 times, sometimes 1 time, sometimes all 4 times I can do it. So, and then when the sleep paralysis happens, it's different because it's exactly where I am. And my lucid dream is different because I don't wake up where I am in my bed. I wake up wherever my dream is taking me, and then all of a sudden I get to this point where it's like whenever you're 4. It's like whenever the Garden of Eden. It's like whenever you're a kid and you get your consciousness. You finally realize, hey, Corey LeBlanc, that thing people have been calling me, that's my identity. And okay, they want me to play hockey. They want me to go to school. I'm going to Catholic school, so I don't want to be a Catholic. They want me to go outside and play. They're okay if I play video games. They're not too long. I can't take stuff from them. This is all what I have to be. And then through repetition, and every time you step out of line, we give you shit so you know better. Well, through that repetition, it molds you into who they want you to be. That's your programming. So what Thunder Wizard's able to do, if he's not lying, is whenever something comes up and he wants something done, he can simply say, okay, well, I reject all the thoughts that I'm not going to have money to go surfing next month, and accept that I'm going to get so much money next month that I'm going to have the amount I need for the next 3 months. I will be free, so mote it be, and rune fucking shamanic fucking Norse tradition way to do that. But that's what he does, and then he lets it go because he has faith it's going to happen. How? Well, because he's had successes, and he's watched testimonials, and he's got his own testimonials out there, and he's got a bunch of minds believing that he can do it. Therefore, his shit happens faster. Now, I don't have nearly the amount of minds watching me. Like I said, on YouTube, I can't remember now if Spreaker is the 95% of people that watch me aren't subscribed, and I have 6 or 7 subscribers on there, maybe even 5, I don't know. And then YouTube is either 82 to 85% of my people that watch me aren't subscribed, and I have 33 subscribers. Okay, small potatoes here, but nonetheless, it's still enough people. And if those people, if half of them, a quarter of them, think I'm manifesting the things I say, and that I can do the things I say, which I can, then that helps. Let's just say that. And the fact that until today I had a sigil as my picture, so every time someone looked at my page, they saw a sigil that I programmed to do something specific that no one else knows but me. You know what I mean? That this is how you do this shit. This is how you get people's minds involved and manifest for you. You have no idea how easy this shit can be once you understand it. But these things add up. This is how you create programming. And you don't have to go to a hypnosis, but you can, and it will help. You don't have to put yourself into theta, but it can, and it will help. You don't have to put a recorder on with exactly what you want to program in your head for 21 days or more in a row in theta, but you can. All this will work 100%. Doesn't matter how much drugs you do, coffee you drink, this will work. All right. But anyways, so yeah, when you said that today, that really resounded with me about that. So anyways, but enough about that. So the conscious, he thinks about something consciously, and then it happens. It's like, man, that was so wrong way to say that. You can't do shit with your conscious mind. The most you can do with your conscious mind is take over your breathing. Other than that, all you can do is think. And even that, your thoughts come from somewhere else. It's not coming from your fucking ass. And then you expand on those thoughts. But it's like, boom, thought comes, okay, I have the thought that girl there is hot. Should I talk to her? Should I keep staring? Oh, shit. I'm married. I can't do nothing. Oh, yeah, my kids. What if that's someone's little girl? But that first thought that made you look over there, it might not even be a thought, but the act of you looking over there, and then you get that first thought of you in bed with her or whatever, and then you feel bad about it. That's not you. That wasn't you. You didn't know she was there, yet you turned and looked right at her. Point is, it comes from somewhere else. But you can't, and said this before about Thunder Wizard. You can't just do actions to something that you're programmed to do the opposite. And this is where the thought process comes involved. You can say all day long that, well, if you're thinking, you can have all the shitty thoughts you want, you can have all the emotional bullshit you want, and then you just go do the opposite. Okay, so you feel like you want to kill yourself, you got no friends, you hate your fucking life, you don't know what you're doing here, you're miserable. You want to go OD or jump off the fucking bridge. I'm just going to go do the opposite and get a job and be happy and go donate, and it doesn't work like that. It took you a while to get to that point, and you got to slowly go back the other way. But the only way to get that ultimate faith in what you want to happen is to get the results. Listen to testimonials over and over and over. Get that in your head, and then believe that active. Fake it till you make it, and then it will be. But that's the secret. And this is why I said it comes with time. You can't rush it. You can go to a shaman, and the shaman can tell you to do these practices, do these exercises, and it might speed up. Or you can watch me, and I'm going to tell you the same fucking thing. You keep watching occult stuff. You take out all the bad shit you don't want to happen, because here's the thing, and this is why I'm glad he didn't say that, the drugs and all this shit stop you from manifesting, because that's horse shit, because everybody's manifesting the reality. And here's the problem. The people that don't believe that you can manifest your reality, they say things like, I'm never going to be rich, or they've been successful their whole life. That's all they know, so they've been programmed to be successful, so it just keeps perpetuating themselves, upward cycle, and they might not even like it, or their life, they might have money and cars and all that, but they might not have freedom. They might not be able to do whatever they want to do. They may have to do the family business. Who knows? There's always their own special group of problems that you have to. Looking from the outside in is never a good idea. Grass is greener, the fucking saying. And he asked the question, like, is everybody happy where they are? I can honestly say, this is where I want to be. Well, for me, I am fucking dead happy of where I am, because surfing to him is not what skateboarding and snowboarding and playing hockey is to me. I love those things. I love them. And as a child, I may have wanted to be a professional one of those, but not anymore. That's not the case, but I still love doing them. I'll play any sport for fucking days in a row. It doesn't matter. And I'm good at all of them. I've always been naturally athletic, that I can tell my body to move specific ways, and it does. So, and that's always been a passion of mine. It's part of my passions, and it's definitely a hobby. It's definitely something I like doing. Not something I want to do for a living, because you can't. Like he said, you can't surf for a living. Could you run a surf shop? Sure. And then, you could be talking about surfing all day, going to surf whenever the fuck he wants. Maybe you'd be able to surf for free all the fucking time. And you can have a massage parlor in there, probably with happy endings or something. I know, I'm just kidding. But, and he could be surrounded by what he loves and helping people get into what he loves. And, that would be his ideal job if that's what he wants. But he's putting off that I'm an occult guru. I need to teach people this shit, but I really just want to surf all day long. Fuck all you assholes, but I need money. So this is why I'm doing this. Yeah, he says he's manifesting and he gets what he wants. It's not adding up, right? So keep that in mind. But that's the secret. When you can have that absolute faith and that everything will be okay. That's why I tell my wife, don't worry about money. We don't worry about the money and it happens. I said it before, the reason I work my job is because if I don't, my wife's mine, and she's not ready to take the big leap like I am. So for me to just sit at home, and that's the thing, like, I don't know, I've said this before, I don't know what my true passion or purpose, or whatever word you use, my soul's purpose, okay? You can't know that. It's like an unconscious thing, and I believe that part was true as well, but that has to come to you, and it can only come to you through experience. So you have to experience certain things for you to get to that place where you can realize that. And that's where this comes in. So for the time being, you manifest what you need, and then you go to a job that, you probably wouldn't need, but if you didn't go there, all the money you manifest would be just going to pay the rent. So that's not a good life. But like I said many times, you want to program yourself without doing all that other stuff. But if you do, if you put on testimonials of magic over and over and over again, you find some things you can watch over and over again. And it comes down to, like, how bad do you want it? Do you want to be able to manifest what you want in a year or less? depending on how dedicated and disciplined you are to do this. Or do you want to say, well, no, it's not worth it. I don't want to keep watching the same thing over and over again just so I can manifest in a year. I'd rather watch what I want right now and then just keep hoping it's going to happen one of these days, and it never will. Well, then there's your answer. But to tell people they just think about it and it's going to happen, well, that's deceiving. That's an ad for his business, and so people call him, because I want to be able to do that. Well, you don't get to do that. After a certain amount of time, you may get to that point depending on your energies. Like I said before, if you had all the six out of seven hermetic principles down, and you were just missing the one, and that one was, let's say, it's the law of mentalism, which isn't really theirs. Theirs was the law of polarity. You know, what you think about, you bring about, which is kind of like everything happens in the mind. And, you know, if you're thinking good, you're going to get good. You're thinking money, you're going to get money. But there's another side to that too. All the other things that you think about in that day are also going to come to you. So it's kind of like the law of polarity, but it's kind of like the law of, not correspondence, but rhythm. And yeah, so, but their magic may have took off. Those people that were missing only that one, and then they heard that and it all made sense to them. And some people have. That's why there was a book. But mostly people just wanted to hear that there's an easy way to get rich. And, you know, testimonial. People believe something enough. Faith is the one Sephiroth, Jupiter Sephiroth, that can trump all the other ones that you need to do when you're doing path working. If you have absolute faith in what you're doing, then yeah, you are going to succeed. And that's the biggest secret. So I'm not calling bullshit on that for him, but the way he packaged it was once again misleading to get you to buy the secret, and then he gets the money so he can keep surfing. And he really doesn't care if he lies to you to get you to buy his shit. And he makes fun of people like me who are giving this stuff out for free, and he says I'm really hurting people more than I'm doing any good. Well, that's what he thinks. But, you know, me and my wife, we've been doing a lot of wood burning and arts and crafts stuff together and shit like that. And, you know, she talked about how she might make ornaments for Christmas and all that. And I said, well, yeah, I made a little, it's like a candle holder, but it's a 6th grade star. So it's basically the pentacle that you make after the earth grade. And basically you do, whenever you're doing the opening and the closing of the watchtower, you need all the tools there present. So I haven't finished all my grades yet, but I do have all those there present for me to be able to do that. Because when you do the opening of the watchtower and you call the watchers there, you are getting source, all, whatever you call it, it's giving you the energy to manifest. And this is something that you can use to make thought forms. You don't even need this for thought forms. Thought forms are pretty easy to make, but egregores, servitors, that kind of thing. But this is something and so anyways, so I'm going to be making all of those. And I think the website and YouTube channel and all the YouTube channel will be up and the website will be up, but we won't start actually selling anything until August. So for example, this is mine. This is one that's not for sale, and it's because it's not complete yet. Let's see what I can do here. All right, so not this. This was a gift from my daughter, though. My 9-year-old made me that, which is kind of what inspired my design. That's my cup with something written on it that I can't let you see, but just know it always comes true. Water magic, baby. Use the elements. That's for Saturn, of course. That's from last night. And these are just real fast versions of Mercury and Mars for whenever I need them, which, you know, I just use them. I'm gonna put them there for a second. I'll be moving you guys in a second. So the reason why I say this one's not for sale is because it's got whatever there, and I was a little worried that might affect it. But all right, there we go. Where's the top? See, that's a little uneven there. So that's the way I made it. So if you're wondering why it looks shitty at first, it's just because these are the bigger ones and these are the smaller ones, right? So that's up to spirit. That's down to you. That's the physical realm, the spiritual realm, and then there's your air, water, fire, earth. Right? So if you have the pentagram up,
you're focused on spirit, but you're not doing the material. And if you have the pentagram down, well, let's say you're Satanist and all that other crap, which just means you're focused on solely the material and not spiritual, and you need a balance of both. And that's why after the middle pillar ritual, this is what lights up your fucking chest and gives you the energy to turn it into an egregore thought form. So yeah, I'm gonna make a bunch of these if anybody wants it. And then this is so far from complete yet, but this is the beginning of a chalice, a cup, because that's something else you have to make. And like I said, this is one of the first ones that I just made fast, and it worked like a motherfucker, but it wasn't the length and anything. So, and this was my first. This is my that's not good. This is my first athame ever, and athame has to be sharp on both sides, because this is the thing you are telling the elements to come to your circle with and telling them to leave. You don't leave the elements lying around, so you have to have it sharp on both sides. And I just crimped that around. I was just fast making shit. That's not the shit it's gonna look like. My shit's gonna look like the shit I craft. That's the shit I craft. And then, like I said, I use machetes for big swords. But there's another athame, as you can see. Before you start saying I'm a liar, that's my shitty grinding job, but it's not done yet. Not even close to done yet. But once it is done, I'll let you guys look. But I made some pretty kick-ass ones that are like pool cues. I think I had a video actually on YouTube about this before, but you know, I got some extra conductor, some coffer all wrapped around there, moonstone, lodestone. I got a Jupiter stone on there. I still never did it, but so Mercury, I'm gonna be carving out a Mercury at the end here. The reason it's like a full Q is that I made a little notch on the inside. See? So the one side inserts subconscious mind, conscious mind, you know, within the air element anyways. And then you turn it, and then boom, connected symbolism within symbolism. Okay, that shit is powerful. And this is what you draw to you. Your left arm, that's the wand arm. That's what comes through you. The right arm is projecting. It's what you cast your circle with your athame, and you go around. Now, this is my athame I currently use. A lot of symbolism there. I did not make this though. That's a gift from my mom that I've cleansed and painted and added to and carved and consecrated and reconsecrated. Not something differently, just re-adding and then charged up. But anyways, so yeah. So before, you know, Thunder Wizard goes and says stuff like, well, I'm giving out free information. Well, no, he's giving out free information on his site. So to condemn somebody else for doing the same thing he's doing is once again being another hypocrite. He's very hypocritical, you'll see. And he uses the guise of, he uses the word projecting a lot. And he says he's a counselor to people, but he probably works in a fucking shop somewhere selling fucking shoes. I don't know. Maybe fucking wigs. I don't know. But, you know, me and her get to spend time together. We get to make stuff. It gets the artistic side out, the passion, the creative, love, Venus, Astarte, Astaroth, Aphrodite. Some would even say Mary, the Matrix, even though the mother's more associated with the moon, with the blue, with Mary in the water. But, you know, that's Christianity for you. They fucking combine all these deities into one and then give the saints for all the rest. But anyways, but the point is, you know, if I have 33 people subscribe to me on YouTube and then 5 other people subscribe to me on Spreaker and then wherever else, you know, Apple Podcasts and all these other places, well, that creates traffic, and then 95% of, you know, that aren't subscribed, so that makes it like if 5 people make up 5%, that means there's 100 people listen to my podcast. And it doesn't seem like much to me, somebody like the Thunder Wizard, but to me it's a lot. And I'm fucking thankful and grateful for everyone. And the $20-some I get every month that pays for the package for me to keep doing the podcast, I'm grateful for. And once again, I don't need the money necessarily to manifest for me to go spend on whatever the fuck I want, go surfing and a massage, but I get to spend it on my children. and money comes in, and sometimes I don't have to pay bills. Sometimes bills are covered for me. Sometimes we get things where it's just money knocked off. It's like, see, I don't worry, and I don't have nothing to worry about. But if I'm not working a job, then my wife is worried that, okay, yeah, he might have had some success, and yeah, he's proved it to me, and yes, even I've done it, but he can't sustain it. He's got to work, and until she's ready, that's a deal breaker for me. And as much as I love magic and I love the occult, that's the one thing I love doing. Okay, I love doing it. I love speaking about it, I like explaining it, I like learning about it. I like doing the rituals. I like all of it. I love it. It's the one thing I love, and that's why philosophy, psychology is the version that people accept. But really, it breaks down to very similar things, and that's why I'm drawn to those as well, because it's the accepted way to talk about magic. But you know, if I had a magic shop teaching people how to, like, I'm not just gonna everybody. Oh, maybe you can assume that someone buys an earth pentagram off me like that, or pentacle off me like that. I'm gonna give them how I do my opening and closing of the watchtower. I'm gonna write it down for them. I'll probably sell it with the fucking thing as a bonus. Maybe give it a demonstration if they want, whatever, you know. Throw in fucking oils that work good, teach them how to do it in crossing, whatever, you know. Sky's the limit. And then maybe, you know, how-to videos on how I did make them for the people that can't order them, that can't buy mine. Well, I'll teach them how to do it, because it's the one thing I don't worry about. And most people will be like, well, you do that, then no one's going to buy off you anymore. Aren't you worried that you're going to teach them how to do it and then no one's going to buy off you anymore? No, because there's always going to be lazy fucks. And I'm not saying you're a lazy fuck if you buy off me, but I mean, there's always going to be people that don't want to do it. Always going to be people that can't do it. There's always going to be people that are initially programmed to just buy what they need instead of taking the time, because time is worth more than money. So that's why you got to spend your time doing something you love. And it doesn't matter if surfing is your only love. Well, then you can't surf all the time. Well, you know, then you got to find other things you love. And as much as he says there's one ultimate thing you came here to do, and for him that's surfing, it's like, no, that's just right now. But eventually there's going to be something else that's going to take precedent there. And there has to be multiple aspects of life. That's why there's air, fire, water, earth, and spirit, and, you know, the physical. We have all these realms because you have to keep all these equal. It's not just believe in God and do good and live your shitty life and do your shitty job and then you get to have heaven. There's no heaven. That's a fucking joke. You have to have all these areas balanced so you can have heaven on earth. Whenever your mind, your mental is healthy, whenever your passion and your lust, your sexual desires, your creative desires are fulfilled, then your fire's good. Your fire's good. And then when you're emotionally good, when you can get rid of stuff, whenever you feel upset, you can let it out, and you have someone to talk to and someone that you can also help the way they help you. You have that emotional connection, you know, and, you know, the water in your body is good. And, you know, then, you know, you're going to have that balanced. And there could be a hobby or something you'd love to do within each one of these. And if you can connect them all in this one aspect, well, then that's great. But there's something you can love about each one of these. Like, I love learning, but I also love talking about what I learned, right? So is that both air, or is that air and fire? Well, it's both, but the learning has to happen first. The thoughts have to come in first, and then I got to put them together with my passion. And then, you know, my emotions come into play there, because I have to do the emotional work. I have to, you know, learn about the brain and all that. But, and then, you know, that's what I love to do. You know, so earth, the physical, is the one thing I try the hardest to not be part of, yet I have to be. We're forced in the physical. We don't have the choice. The choice is to try to get to the spiritual while you are so stuck into the physical, you know? But anyways, there's too many pointed stars to just pick one thing. You have to be able to do a bunch of things, right? Like, if you're living in a community, yeah, you got one job and everybody trades off jobs and everybody's taken care of. But it's not like that's the only thing you do. After the job, you would go and play a sport. Maybe you go play cards. Maybe you go socialize. Maybe you go swim. Maybe you like making things. you know, somebody making decorations for somebody else. The person buying the decorations loves those decorations. Or, you know, spiritual fucking pendants. Like, I'm gonna make fucking, you know, different, pentagrams and shit for people to wear. Maybe pentagram earrings and shit. Who knows? The wood burning is really cool, actually. It really turns out really nice. But, you know, I like doing stuff with steel as well. It doesn't matter. But all that to say is, if you want to manifest what you want, don't let someone tell you that if you're on drugs or caffeine and all that, you know, you should reduce that. And you already know that. No one needs to tell you that. But everybody's manifesting what they want or what they don't want right now. So don't listen to people that say that shit. But oh fuck, I forgot what the next point was going to be. But anyways, I guess I'll just leave it all at that, and that'll be enough. If I decide to play another clip, it's just because it's some more hypocritical crap. And once again, I got nothing against him. I think maybe we're supposed to test each other. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it'll help his popularity. Maybe it'll help me learn things I need to learn. Because maybe he does know a lot. But when people know a lot and they think they know a lot, they have mental blocks. They can even get emotional blocks. It's like the born-again Christian who becomes born again and feels that experience and thinks it was Jesus, when it was just really them forgiving themselves for everything that's ever happened to them in the past. So they're able to let go of all that pain they've been holding on to for so long. They get rid of that shit. They feel great, but they put it all on Jesus. And then what happens? Well, they're not the problem. Jesus already saved them. Everybody else is the problem. Well, you can hear that coming out of Thunder Wizard a little bit. And I know he's going to say I'm projecting onto him what I feel, but no, it's not true. Well, he can say it all he wants. It doesn't fucking matter. This is a guy that wants you to pick either we went to the moon or not, the Bible's true or not, the earth is flat or it's not. You can't be in the middle. It's like, yeah, that's the point. We're supposed to be in the middle. We're supposed to go back and forth. Who cares? When you're on the fucking earth, it's flat. When you go up in the air, it's fucking round. There you go. Problem solved. Another paradox, buddy. We're in the land of paradoxes. Get used to it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Have a great fucking day.